and welcome back to Twitch Tales episode 11, Staanhon. Where did we leave off in episode 10? Well, let's find out with a recap. Hi sisters, I think I might have scared you with the last one. I feel like I'm getting a habit of that. Sorry about it. I managed to survive the giant rock crab thing without any difficulty really. Turns out if you're made mostly of rock, you're not exactly very fast. And I don't like to brag, but you know I'm pretty quick, right? Well, I found myself in the Death Plains, a very dangerous area of the world that lives up to its name. King Daemon of the Kingdom of Serentiel tasked me directly with mapping this area. After I reported to him that mapping the Drensal was proving to be too dangerous for a single person to accomplish alone, he instead moved me and my services onto moving through the path between Holdover and Staanhon and mapping out whether it's safe for things to travel through. So far, it's been dangerous, but not deadly. I've been able to avoid taking too much heat damage. I did rely on a fire potion at one point. It's not safe for merchants and travellers, I'd say, but it's not quite as dangerous as I'd expected. I haven't been on death's door at any particular point or severely worried for my health. At least not when I still have potions and the ability to run. I mounted on top of the rock to get a better view, and it turned out to be some sort of a lava crab monster thing, and thankfully I was able to run away before getting too much damage from it. It had babies and things of all sizes, different versions of it at all sizes. One of them tried to grab me as I ran, but I managed to evade it. I had a couple of hours of walking without too much further incident. The ash cloud blotted out the sun, the moon at one point, and it became very difficult to see. So I rested for a moment and regained my breath. I think I'm almost out of the Death Plains now, but I have just rounded a corner to see that there are some gorse bushes on fire. It seems like some kind of idle fire elemental creature is amusing itself with the bushes. I'm not sure if it's seen me or not. I better focus on what I'm doing now. Wish me luck. Noodle. And that's where we're picking up today, as we have just rounded a corner in the Death Plains to find a fire elemental. This fire elemental has been burning these bushes. Burninate the country, burninate the village. As it's burninating these bushes, has it seen you or not? You have just seen it with your aware perception as you walk. It, however, does not seem to have seen you. As it turns in your direction, it does not make any motions as if it has seen you. Your passive stealth, being that you are proficient in stealth and very dexterous, even when you are not attempting to be stealthy. I use passives when you are just going about your daily life, not thinking about it. I use passives as 5 plus your dexterity, plus your stealth modifier, which takes you to a passive stealth of 12. And it's passive perception. It is not actively keeping an eye out for things around it like you are. And so I again use 5 plus its perception modifier, which did not beat your 12. So as you are round the corner, having just drunk a healing potion, you see this fire elemental just kind of absent-mindedly burning bushes. What do you want to do? You have not picked up on any of its body language or insight. You don't know what its intent is. You don't know if it's hostile. You don't know anything about elementals per se. If you want to, you could roll some checks to see if you remember anything about elementals from your studies. If you want to roll a hide, you can now duck down behind this wall. If you want to throw something at it to distract it, you could. The choice is entirely open to you. Anything is a potential valid thing to do. Duck back around the corner and hide. We can stealthy. We can fall back sneakily. We would have heard him if they were singing the jazzy little jingle. Hide, sneaky, sneak around it. Fire potion just in case. Hide first, remember later. Offer a friendship cake. I'm team fire potion. Hide first. Alright, majority of you are definitely on board with hiding, so you are going to roll your stealth check. You have a +7 to your stealth. Let's bring up the dice cam. Oopsie daisy, knocked the camera. That is a 6. A 6 + 7 is 13, which is just 1 better than your passive. You actively try to hide, and you don't do a very good job of it. 13 is still okay. It's still enough to beat its passive, as I mentioned. You will duck back behind here very slowly, trying not to draw attention with your movement. And then standing here, you wonder, I wonder if it can feel body heat. I wonder if it can feel tremors in the ground. I'm not sure if moving is actually a good thing or a bad thing, so I'll just kind of wait here and think about what to do next. So you are now hiding. What's the next goal? It doesn't seem to have done anything else while you're deciding what to do. It just kind of moves on and starts burninating some other things too. What do you want to do, everybody? I'll go into build mode. I will grab one of these fires and I'll place it down in that bush. This fire is spreading a little bit through the gorse bushes here. It is now moving on into this gorse and setting fires there. What next? History check, think. See if we remember anything about elementals. Notice a pattern in its movement. We lure it away through a stone. Roll to learn something about it. Intelligence check, see what we know about it. History check, do we recognize it, etc., etc. All right. So most people saying some kind of an intelligence check, see if we know anything about fire elementals as it's moving around. So I will see what's on your character sheet. You have history. You have insight. You have pretty much it. So history or insight. So arcana, you could still roll an arcana check, you just wouldn't get your proficiency bonus to it. You could roll a nature check, you wouldn't get your history bonus. So if you are going to go with your history bonus to roll for the best chance possible, then what you will learn from a history check, a successful history check, would be not necessarily things about fire elementals, but ways in which fire elementals have in history been found or been seen in the Death Plains or around. You won't necessarily know about their behaviors and such. With an insight check, you would learn about this particular one's movement and see it, because somebody mentioned, see if it's working on a pattern. Is it a patrolling? Is it specifically going back and forth over one particular area? Those sorts of things would be your insight check. If you wanted to learn about fire elementals in general, are they resistant to particular damage types? Are they particularly hostile against humans? I suppose history could tell you hostility in the past. Have they been hostile towards humans? But if you wanted to learn about fire elemental biology, resistances, weaknesses, that sort of thing, then that would be an arcana check. You just wouldn't get your bonus to it. So more people saying insight is more interesting. So I will give you insight. You do get your proficiency, which is a 3 from wisdom and a 3 from proficiency. So you're going to get a +6 to this. Because you kind of saw it and then ducked back immediately, I'm going to give you disadvantage because you didn't get much time to actually watch it. So you're going to get disadvantage on this. If you want to know more about insight after that, then you're going to have to risk poking your head out and watching it for a bit. So we'll start with just seeing what you knew about it from its behaviors in the brief moment that you saw it. That is a 15, but with disadvantage it is a nat 1. So nat 1 + 6 from your insight is a 7. With a 7 insight, nat 1, you didn't see it for very long. You saw it for a brief moment. You considered quaffing your fire potion. You considered staying here and watching it, but ultimately you decided duck back behind the wall. And that means that you didn't get to see much of it. You saw that it seemed to have, from the fire that it's already set recently, it seems to have moved along that row of gorse. It turned around and started making its way back again, up onto another gorse. That's all you managed to get from it. You don't know whether it's patrolling. It could potentially be patrolling back and forth, but with the 7, you can't guarantee. Okay, history it is then. Okay, so history check. You're going to try and see if you remember anything about the history of interactions between mortal folk and fire elementals. That is a... Why did I roll twice? Didn't mean to roll twice, so I'll just take the one that I normally would have rolled, which is that one, 19. 19 + 6 is a 25. That's pretty good. You're going to remember some things about history. In the meantime, since you did an insight check, I am just going to have it take a turn, essentially. And its turn is going to be to move up onto this bush here. And grab some more fire. It's going to burn its way up onto this gorse here. And this gorse is going to burn brighter. With a 25 history check, you remember that, let's see, what would make sense for you to remember as your background and character? You remember that there has been a number of times throughout history on this plane of existence where the fire elementals have been a problem. You remember with a 25 very good history check, you remember that the earliest days of creation is said to have been fire elementals, elementals in general, were sort of the rulers and the leaders of this material plane and everything else that was in it. That there was said to have been all of the middle planes, the inner planes of existence, were just elemental chaos, and that they were ruled by elemental creatures. You remember the history saying that elemental titans used to be the ones that ruled over everything else, like pure beings of humongous titans of rock or magma and such, even tornadoes personified. You remember the history lessons tying in with religion lessons of like the early gods taking out those primordial titans and fighting them and battling them back, and then ultimately separating them out into having their own areas to sort of appease them and give them somewhere that they can still rule over. Taking a little bit of elements of every kind in fair amounts, in balanced amounts, allowed the gods to create the material plane as it is now, with the oceans and the land and the volcanoes and the air, allowing for other creatures to survive in the various different areas of this material plane, with each of the elements accounted for, but in a less chaotic fashion. That said, any areas of the material plane where one particular area concentrates too much, so too high into the air where there is no land, no heat, no water, there is areas where it can cross over into the elemental planes of air. In the heat, in the heart of a volcano, or deep down underground in the hottest parts of the Rin's mantle, it can cross over into the plane of fire. Deep at the heart of a solid rock mountain range, you can find yourself inadvertently crossing into the plane of earth, and so on. In those areas, it is not uncommon for fire elementals to cross over into this plane of existence, or air elementals and so on. You know that if there is a civilization of people that lives in a particularly hot area, like the Death Plains, they are usually things that are fire resistant, and so they can get along fine with the fire elementals. You know that the elementals, with your history check, you know that they do have sentience, they do have sapience, they have their own societies, they have their own civilizations, they have their own languages, and so they're not just personified versions of the elements, they are personified versions of the elements that are able to think cognitive thoughts and have sapience. And so whatever this creature is and how it is going to be towards you, from your 25 history check, I'll say that you know that it is going to be related, it's going to be based on its individual personality. It's not like it is going to be hostile just because it's a fire elemental. That said, I'll also say a terrible insight check, but very good history check. I'll say that you know that historically speaking, fire elementals, when they do cross over to the material plane, tend to burn and damage and destroy and incinerate the things that they come in contact with, whether out of malice and hostility or by nature of that's all that they can do. Like as soon as they touch it, it's like when if we were to like handle a moth, it would disintegrate because it's so fragile and dust-like to our big meaty hands. Even as delicate as we can be, we can't help but hurt it. And in the same way, historically speaking, when people have come in contact with fire elementals, they can't help but be hurt by them. So even if it was a friendly one, it could lead to your destruction. So that's all. I think that's sufficient for what you got from your history check there. Knowing that about this particular elemental and elementals in general, what do you want to do with that information? You can choose to stay here and wait it out, see if it moves on. You could, let's see, what else could you do? You could try and talk to it, try and give it something, or try and like appease it, allow it to pass. As you have done another action now with your history check, I will have it move on a little bit. It has now continued to burn some more fire as you stand there thinking about what to do. It's now burning some of these gauze bushes as well. It's going to be burning this stuff too. So as you are standing there behind this wall over here, deciding what to do, it is burning. What do you want to do? It doesn't seem to have noticed you. I doubt we can communicate with it. We're unlikely to share a language. You don't know if it speaks common or not, but you... Actually, yeah, with a 25 history check, I'll allow you to carry over that. You know that their own language is called Primordial. In particular, it's called Ignan. It's a fire dialect of Primordial. And that, while not unheard of for certain elementals to be able to speak common, or speak common tongues, like genies and such, if they're pure elemental, it's unlikely that they have the vocal cords needed to make common words. Note on the map, do our best to stealth around it. Looking at the map, looking at the terrain map, I'll show you, look. If you were to try and stealth around it, it would mean going back the way you came and sort of backtracking quite a significant chunk, which means another cartography check and another heat check and another encounter check. You could go for difficult terrain through the thick gorse and such, which I will tell you is doable, but might scratch you up because it's very scratchy, dangerous gorse and stuff. And if you get caught in the middle of the gorse, then you're in very flammable surroundings. If you wanted to go this way, you could again go up through some more gorse and try and get around it, or you could try and skirt around it, but by going closer to the bit that it's currently setting on fire. So it's not easy. It's not going to be easy to get around it, but it is doable. Hasn't noticed. Stealth is out and pray that it doesn't notice. Drink a fire resistant potion. Sneak and skirt away. Clear path around. Sneak and skirt. Potion would reduce fire damage of a direct attack. Yes, if you have the fire resistance potion active when you encounter it, if it is hostile or otherwise and tries to hurt you, then you would half any fire damage coming in from it. So I guess the first question to put to Noodle's neurons is, do you drink your last fire resistance potion? You have one final fire resistance potion, yes or no. Do you want to drink it now? It will last for about an hour. We can handle one more 20-minute leg. You can handle one more 20-minute leg easily, unless I roll very dangerous poisonous gas cloud or something, and it'll almost definitely straight up kill you. Drink the potion, Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Alright, the majority of Noodles saying yes, let's drink that potion, just in case we get into any kind of altercation with it or otherwise. So you look at the final potion, you think this should be enough to get me through, hopefully. Boom. You chug it back. Grab that and put that in there as well. Again, you feel that cool menthol kind of sinuses, feeling like it's really almost brain freezing you as it drops down through your esophagus into your stomach. As soon as it hits your stomach, you start to feel it radiating outwards, like it's instantly taking up into your bloodstream. It's right up into your heart. It almost feels like the opposite of heartburn. Is this like coldness hits your chest and immediately pumps out through your veins, and within seconds it's coursing around your entire body. You are now, for the next hour, resistant to fire damage. Wraith is adamant that was a waste of a potion, but hey, that is the nature of Twitch Tales. You are outnumbered by the rest of the neurons. Now that we are resistant to fire damage, does that change anybody's idea about what to do? Do we want to just straight up run past it? You may be able to, if you just dash, if you move, dash, and bonus dash, you could potentially just run past it and skirt to the edge of the death plains. It might take some damage on you, or you might take damage from proximity of being near the fire. You have drunk a potion, which would be like a bonus action. Well, say you took an action to do it because you want the full effect of it. In fact, because you take an action to do it, I will move on this guy to the next thing. He's going to move down. Fucking hell, I keep clicking the wrong things. He's He's going to move down, he's going to set fire to that as he goes, and he's going to move up onto here. Set fire to this stuff. Then meanwhile, this stuff is starting to extinguish. He has now moved down and up onto here. Some of this wider gorse is now burning itself away. Alright, so what's people saying? What are you going to do? Run, let's move away, go up by the bushes. Trying to want to sneak around closer to it. We could try approaching it, could always run away if we need. Prefer to sneak. Sneak past and then dash, sneak past and then dash, try and bypass. Probably going through the death plains again during the day when it's hotter on the way back, says Wraith. It's too late, Wraith, it's happened. Keeping an eye on it, stopping, hiding again if needed. Stealth, meta. Maybe we can get another one if we get back to civilization. Stealthily sneak by and dash. Alright, most people saying stealthing and dashing, stealthing and dashing. Try sneaking through the fires as they go out to try and stay into the right hand side. Alright, so we're going to put this to a poll to decide exactly what to do. Stealthing as much as possible is a given because everybody's on the same page of that. Stealthing, we're going to be doing so. Whatever we do, we're going to try and do so quietly and stealthily. Now the question is, do we stealth up in the direction that we want to go, the direction we need to go? And do we stealth up and then little by little as the fire starts to die out and the gorse burns off, do we just kind of wait for it to burn off and hope that this thing moves on? That'll be your first option, stealth and wait. Your next option is stealth as close as you can until it sees you and then just fucking run past it as fast as you can at that point. So stealth and wait, then stealth and run. And then your next option is stealth and retreat, I'll say, because it's quietly move away from this as much as you can, backtrack. You're going to take another little bit of time on the journey. You're going to add time to your journey, but you're going to eventually get away from it. You're going to go away from it at least. Are those the only options really? Stealth close and wait, stealth close and run, stealth and retreat. Has anybody got any other options? Stealth and skirt around it is like go through the gorse. I guess like try and like meander your way through the gorse bushes and like try and find your way up to a path like this to get away, to find a different path. I think those are your four major options. And then I suppose approach is the last option. All right, so here we go. We're going to put this to a poll. Stealth and ... Stealth and wait. Wait for the fire to go out, wait for it to move on. Stealth and run. So get as close as you can and then run as soon as it sees you. Stealth and retreat. Like back off and find some other way around. Stealth and skirt, as in to skirt around it to try and go through the gorse bushes and such. Or stealth and approach. So like just approach it and say, hands up, hey, not a threat. I'm not here to hurt you, etc. Yada yada. I'll put it to a 2-minute poll. The time starts now. If you can't see it, refresh the page. If you are on the fence, people in the chat, it's now your chance to decide what to do. You can, people in the chat, if you are adamant that you should definitely do one thing, it is now your time to try and convince the others that is something you should do. Wraith is very upset that you guys have used the fire potion. Unfortunately, Wraith, that is how it goes. There's nothing you can change about it now. Okay, with a surprising majority from the first poll, this sort of thing usually doesn't go this way. Normally, I have to run a second poll as like a preferential voting sort of a system where we drop off the ones that didn't get enough votes until we get one that's actually a definite majority. But this comes out with a straight up majority right from the very beginning. 62% of Noodle's mind, not quite 2/3, but 62% saying, I think we just get as close as we can and then run past it. I can rely on my speed, I can get past it, it shouldn't be an issue. You just hope to God that fire elementals aren't that fast. because unfortunately you did not make an Arcana check, so you don't know too much about their biology or how fast they move. You just knew about their history of how they interacted, and you don't remember with your 25 history any Olympic races of the elementals with Usain Bolt, the fire elemental, Usain Lightning Bolt, I'm sure there's a fire pun there somewhere in there. Linford Crispy. That's not too bad. Linford Crispy is not too bad, but I think most of you might be too young to remember Linford Crispy. Usain Bolt's where it's at now, right? I'm sure there's a Usain Firebolt. Usain Firebolt. Yeah, you don't remember with your history check any Usain Firebolts, so you don't know how fast they are. You're just hoping we'll get close as we can, and then we will run when it becomes a problem. All right, so as you are going to then move out of your current hidey hole, where you got a 13 stealth, we're going to repeat roll your stealth check to see how you do now that you're approaching. Stealth check, this plus 7, that is a 12. 12 plus 7 is a 19. For reasons that you do not yet know, it is now actively perceiving things. It is not just absent-mindedly moving now, it is now actively perceiving. So I will roll that plus its stealth, plus its perception modifier, which would be... Okay. So you get a 19 on your stealth. It gets a perception of whatever it got. And as you approach, you slowly as you can move up here. I'll say that you notice a couple of these fires going out. I'm going to get you to roll an Arcana check anyway, just sort of more of a passive one. You're going to notice something maybe, depending on how well your Arcana's going. It is now going to continue back around this way. It goes through here and then through here. It's going to go up here. It tries to set this stuff on fire. Some of this, I think some more of this goes out. One of these maybe. Some more of that goss goes out. As you get to that corner, that's your turn and its turn essentially. Sneaking. I'm going to roll you an Arcana check just to see if you notice something. 19 on the dice. You do not, if you look at your character sheet, you do not have proficiency in Arcana, but you can still add your intelligence modifier, turning that into a dirty 20. With a dirty 20 Arcana, you notice that the fire that it's creating is not just regular fire. It is not just a normal flame that it's burning this goss with. It is a magical flame that it's summoning from the elemental plane of fire, and it is trying to use. It's sort of the elemental flames that create itself. It's more of its own body that it's leaving behind in the goss. It can just start regular fires, but it is deliberately trying to leave behind some of its own essence in this goss, some magical flame, kind of like a slug trail, yes. And what you notice is it is going out. These things are getting extinguished. It was only about 12 seconds ago, give or take, maybe 18 seconds ago, that it started burning the gorse bushes that you're now closest to, these bushes here. But you can now tell that that the fire is not staying. The gorse is burning away to a degree, but it is extinguishing pretty quickly. And it is now, with your 7 insight from before, you didn't notice anything, but it is now starting to loop back around, and it is about to cross over the path of where you're going. So knowing that you wanted to get as close as you can until it spotted you and then just fucking leg it, you are now at that point where it's now just dropping off of this edge here, and it's heading back towards the gorse bushes that it first started. And as you round the corner and see that, it seems to flicker towards you. You hear this kind of... It's just this sort of sound of an explosion, which is its startled noise as it's seen you. You now realise time is now, boom, and you just leg it. Staying away from it, you don't take an attack of opportunity. This is difficult terrain, as I say, so for every 10 you're going 15, which means if you go 40 you're going 60. So just your regular movement takes you to about 45, which is about there. If you then get close enough to this fire, you're going to take some heat damage. You're not going to take an attack of opportunity from this guy, but you're going to take some fire from that one. I'm not going to worry about it yet. I'm going to roll it all later because you've got enough hit points that it's not going to take you down. You rush through the fire. That's another 10 to there. And then that's 15 off of it. That was your one movement. You're now dashing, which means that the rest of your movement will take you to about there. A little bit further actually there. So that's one movement and a bonus action dash. Your action is just going to be to continue to dash. I'm going to take you down this way. The map isn't ideal for this situation, so there is actually a path out. I'm not running you into a dead end. But with a dash, with a movement, a dash, and a bonus action, you rush through this flames. You're going to take 1, 2, 3 d6 fire damage from rushing through. Sorry, it should be 4d6 because you're rushing through 10 feet of fire. That's 2d6 for each. That is 2, 3, 4, 5, which is 5, 10, 14. 14 halved to 7. You can take 7 points because of your fire resistance potion. Actually, now you're running through fire. There's not really a way to halve that with a dex. I suppose you could. Yeah, you're a monk. You can tuck and roll. I'll give you a dexterity save to see if you can halve it further again. Dexterity saving throw to tuck and roll and dive through the fire with your acrobatic monk shit. That is a 15 plus your dex save of 7. That's a 22. I'll allow that. You run. You duck and roll through the fire. You're going to half the damage and then half it again with fire resistance. So what did I say? 14. 14 halved to 7, halved again to 3.5. Would round to 3. I'm going to round it to 4 just because you're tuck and rolling and landing on sharp rocks. So I'm going to round up instead. You take 4 points of damage as you rush through the fire. You jump through. You do like an acrobatic roll, and you manage to get to there on your turn. Is it going to give chase? It is now its turn. It was kind of startled. It did not see you coming with its passive perception, or its active perception, I should say, because it only got a 14, thankfully, and you got a 19. So it didn't see you. I'm going to treat it as being surprised on the surprised condition. So not that this is a fight per se, but I am just going to roll initiative for the two of you just to see if you tuck and roll before or after its surprised condition. So from you, that is a 16, and from it, that is a 16 on the dice. Sorry, I didn't show you your dice cam. That was a 12 there, plus your 4 from 16 initiative. And its initiative is a +3, so 19. So if this was an initiative, if this was a combat situation, it would have been surprised and had its surprise condition essentially. Oh no, wait, sorry, strike that. The way that I do surprise nowadays, and I forgot that I do it this way, which is why I'm having to retcon now. The way I do surprise is I roll initiative for it as normal, and then I half its score. So it would have got an initiative of 19, halved to 9. So your 16 does beat it. So you go first. It's surprised. You go first. It then gets to take its turn after you, which means I need to decide: is it going to go for you or not? It sees this bear-like creature, this furry creature, which is very bizarre for it. Things that have bodies full of fur do not tend to fare well in the Death Plains. It would not have seen something with fur before, except for the hellhounds, but they're a different case because they're immune to fire because of the nature of where they come from. Does it think you're a gigantic bipedal hellhound, maybe? So it's happening simultaneously. You run out, you run past it, you're essentially running towards it. I think it does. I think it attacks you with burning hands as you run past, just kind of out of instinct and self-preservation more than anything, because as you rounded the corner in the first place and ran towards it, you were kind of running in its direction just as it was kind of popping down onto the path. You were running past it, and it just kind of spins out with a flaming burning hands in your direction. I'll give you advantage on the save because you were running so fast past it. I'll give you advantage on the save. So dexterity saving throw. That is a 13, or with advantage a 5. 13 plus your 7 is a dirty 20. You definitely succeed. It is going to spin out with you. That is 5, 10, 13 points of damage, halved to, because you succeeded the save, halved to 6.5. Halved again because of fire resistance to 3.25, rounds to 3. You take 3 points of fire damage as you rush past it, but then it does not, with its movement, it does not give chase to you. That's something that you will notice with your passive insight. It just kind of threw fire in your direction. You can consider it like a fireball, a firebolt or a fireball, just kind of off of its hands in the direction of you. It hit across your back as you did your tuck and roll and jumped through the fire, ran off down the area, and then you're kind of glancing over your shoulder as you're running, and you're seeing that while you can see the gorse burning and smoking, it does not seem to be giving chase to you for whatever reason. Too fast, too furious. Nice. Very good. I like that. Fast and furious. That is its turn, which means that the fire over here is going to start going out. I'm going to assume that you're going to, well, I'm not going to assume rather that you're going to run, so I will ask you guys, what do you want to do? Some of this gorse has burned up, some of the fire has gone out. Some of this gorse has gone out, fire gone out and gorse is burned. It's stayed where it is. The fire is now going out. Some more of this fire up here has gone out too. What do you want to do, everybody? Fast as fuck, boy! Skedaddle. Bye-bye, burned friend. That should be the episode title. Keep running, scoot, run, Nifar, run. Too fast, too furious should be the episode title. It might actually be. I think we just leave, keep going. Where is it? It is where you left it, right here. Keep skedaddling. So the fire potion saved is like 6 damage. Is not at all salty, says Wraith. Hey, that 6 damage is 6 damage, right? Who knows if the next thing that you encounter might hit us for everything except for 6 damage. And the going gets tough, the tough run even further away. You run, with your movement, your bonus, your action dash, you get the heck out of there until you are sure that it is definitely not chasing you anymore. So let's say on the next turn you will bonus action dash and move, and then action dodge to turn around and just check. And then on the next turn, bonus action dash and move and dodge again, and then on the next turn just kind of move back to a normal movement pace. And then on the turn after that, just like realize it's not coming for you. You've encountered a fire elemental, but you got the hell out of there. You only saw it for a few seconds and then ran. And then pat out any of the smouldering bear fur. Very good. You have evaded that encounter. You have made it to the end of what will essentially be the last part of your journey. And it is about 6:15 or so in the morning, give or take. And you've made the full 18. Actually, it'd be a little bit earlier than that. It'd be about 6 a.m. Give or take about 6 a.m. and you've made it to the 18-kilometer mark. There is not a direct delineation of like a mark on the floor of like this is Death Plains, this is not. It's just that as you move, you notice that the air is a lot cooler around you. Your body's homeostasis is able to start regulating a lot more. You're noticing that you're panting a lot more. You probably cool yourself down with just another little half of your water skin, noticing that you've got 1.5 left. It is still about an hour at least before sunrise, given the time of year and the location of where you are. So you take a pause to document everything that you've got. You note it down, note how long it's taken, note the fact that there was a fire elemental that seemed to be doing a circuit of some kind, but you're not sure why. It didn't give you chase, etc., etc. Mark on the map, here, there be Kevin's. The various things that we give the names to don't help the map readers at all. Is there any signage on the other side? Yes, there is. Yeah, you notice that there is a sign, like there's a couple of warning signs facing away from you as you walk down this path. There are a few warning signs looking backwards saying, going further is where the dangerous areas be. For things that say things like, for the bravest of adventurers only, it gets hotter. It gets a lot hotter past this area, etc., etc. Are they in good nick? They are in good nick, and you notice that they are mostly made of stone, and they are in good nick because they are stonework that has been carved into stone, not painted on. It is not wooden signs. It is very well maintained stonework, and give me a stonework masonry check, I suppose. You don't have mason's tools. History. I'll give it a history check. I will give it a history check, just relatively low DC here, thankfully, because that was a 4 plus your history of. I think did I do history from wisdom earlier? I think I might have when you did your. Yeah, I gave you a +6 to your history check, and it should have been a +4. So your 25 should have been a 23, but it wouldn't have changed much, if anything. So your 4 history would be an 8. So your 8 history check, you couldn't say for sure, but looking at these signs, you think it's probably made out of dwarven stone, like dwarven stonework, to create these signposts on this side. Whereas the ones on the other side were not. They were more human facing, human work. This one you figure is standing the test of time because dwarves care more about the longevity of their work. Here ends the Death Plains. It does not say that, but it does. You can tell that from the area, from the vegetation, even on the hillside, there is the thing that is the most marked delineation between the Death Plains and the Knot is that the vegetation starts to come back. The greenery of the vegetation starts to come back. The thing that we talked about in chat a couple of episodes ago, where somebody said, "Oh, interesting to note that the vegetation's not doing well because usually dormant volcanoes on the sides of dormant volcanoes, it's very lush ground because the volcanic activity brings up a lot of minerals and it leads to very good soils and stuff, which is usually the case, but is not the case in the Death Plains for, the influence of the fire plains and stuff. Now that you're starting to see a lot more lush vegetation down the sides of down the slopes of the mountain, you kind of convincing yourself that you're out of where any reasonable person would mark the Death Plains as being. So congratulations, everybody! You survived your first trek into the Death Plains as a cartographer, and you did a fantastic job of cartographizing. Let's do add it all up and see how you did. Did I mark that last one down? Yeah, the last one was a 17, I believe, right? That's what I've got down here anyway. Let me just double check. It should have taken 9 plus another one because you didn't move. Should have taken 10. I think I should have 10 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then I'm not going to argue. I've obviously asked for one more for whatever reason. So let me grab my calculator, add all of these up and divide by 11 and see on average how well you did. You did a 15. You did an 18. You did a 26. You did a 20. You did another 20, an 18, a 21, a 17, a 24, a 25, and a 17. That's 185 on your cartography check, divided by 11 is an average of 16.8. So an average of 16.8 cartography check. 16.8, I'll make a note of that later. Average cartography check. Which, given that you have a +6 to your cartography modifier, and given that the average of a d20 roll is a 10.5, we would have been expecting about a 16.5 average, but you did slightly above average for that. For some reason I felt like it should have been higher. The 15 dragged it down. Wait, no, that's wrong. 1, 2, I must have done something wrong there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I mustn't have added 11 things up because you're right, that should have been higher than that. I didn't pass my common sense check. Maybe I didn't input one of the 20s. $221. So I don't know what I missed inputting something there. So an average of 20.1. That's much better. This is why you've always got to do a common sense check in mathematics. Could be like, does that answer bide with about what you'd expect it to be? I would have noticed that later when I put it into my notes. I'd have been like, that's not right. 20.1. So the 15, 18, 18, 17, and 17 dragged it down. 26, 20, 20, 21, 24, and 25 dragged it up. Yes, cool. Much better. The last one was an 11, says Blue the Great. Did we do one more after the 17? It was an 11 on the dice, and then you got a +6, right? So it was a 17 total, I believe. Nods like she has any clue what's going on. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm just doing maths bullshit. So with an average of above 20 on your cartography check, that is a very good map of the death plains. I will say it is focused on the path that you travelled and the path and the immediate vicinity around that. You do not have, as good as it is, you do not have any notes on anything slightly beyond that. You don't have any notes on the things in the distance. You don't have any notes on like whether there's intelligent life a few hundred meters from the road. You don't have any notes on whether there's big chasms like a few feet from the road, that sort of shit, because it was dark while you were walking through. You opted to go through at night, which did account for like your encounter chances. It did account for how much damage you were going to be taking from heat. It did account for the DC of the constitution checks and such, constitution saves. So going through at night definitely did help you. But the drawback was you do miss out on a little bit of the detail of the wider range of your map. So what do you want to do now? Now that you have finally succeeded your way through the death plains, you have taken note of a whole bunch of stuff. You have noted that the sign needs fixing on the other end. You've noted how sudden or gradual the entrance of it begins. You've noticed any signs of intelligent life that were on the path. You noted down how cats would fare on the path. You noted down how visible the path was beneath all of the dust, and from the dust how often there seems to be dust clouds and storms through the area. You noted down what dangers there were, and then you noted down today the location of the ambush that attacked you and the details that we could remember from that. You took some pebble samples as well. You noted down any areas of temperature changes and the visibility risks with the high visibility needed. Oh, and then the last thing was the fire elemental. Noted down the fire elemental doing its thing. Fire elemental and what it was doing. Rob's calculator was taking the help action. You should definitely draw this out, Rob. Oh, the map. We should draw it. I should do it. I should do a 20.09 worth of a map. I'm not sure I'm a good enough map maker for this, but we could potentially get an artist on Etsy or something to do as a nice map. Maybe add it to the merch store or something if I felt like it would sell. Given the short length of this campaign, I'm hoping it's the last trip to the Death Plains for Noodle, but we might revisit other adventures. Well, you were told by the king to map your way all the way to Staanhon, then continue on from Staanhon north to Whitfield, and then continue north of Whitfield to the area north of Whitfield and map that area that's not really charted yet. And in particular, you want to be looking to the mountains in the east to see if there's any ways for the orcs to become a problem and to make their way down. If you go too far north of Whitfield, you enter the lesser Death Plains, which are basically the same but shorter, same but smaller. Take a rock sample from the edge of the not Death Plains rock. You take another couple of pebble samples just as a differentiation of like these ones are from it and these ones are the ones not from it. We could take a nap right here until sunrise. Safest place to sleep right near the Death Plains. There's not going to be other creatures around. That does make sense. Do a little victory dance. Mark our position on the map. We can finish the long rest. Now you had a long rest. You had the equivalent of a long rest right before you started. Oh no, I gave you 4 hours of a long rest before the day. Then you had. How did it work out? I gave you 4 hours of long rest. Let me check my notes. We set up. So we preambled and meandered around in Holdover for the morning. We went and bought some shoes. We went through. We set off north and had a rest for a bit until afternoon. We had like half of a long rest. Then we got as far as we were going. We set off. We sat down and had the finish of a long rest, so that we would get up about 2 a.m. and then set off into the thing. So we had a long rest. We finished our last long rest at 2 a.m. So we don't actually get the benefits of another long rest until tonight, essentially. You can have a short rest, but you won't be able to benefit from a long rest for a while. Right now we just us, aren't we? How far is town? You can continue going to Staanhon if you want to make it all the way to town before resting. It's not that far now. It's a few more kilometers. Take a moment to be proud of ourselves. Indeed. We travelled all night, so nappy nap somewhere not close to the Death Plains. Continue north. 6 a.m-ish. Yeah, it's about 6 a.m. at this point. About an hour before sunrise. How far away from the next point of interest or town? You are, let's see. I've got it in my notes somewhere. How far to Staanhon? Oh, I didn't actually write it down. I think from memory it would be about 15 kilometers or so to town. At your pace, it'll take like an hour and a half to 2 hours to walk to Staanhon. So if you walked to Staanhon now, you'd arrive early morning. You'd arrive at dawn. But you could take a half hour to an hour to rest here if you wanted. Wait for sunrise and then head to Staanhon. What you know of Staanhon is that it's a walled city of dwarves and humans. It's an old dwarvish city that humans took over. So it's mostly dwarves and humans. Head on to town or short rest. That's basically what it's coming down to. So thumbs up to keep going on towards Staanhon. Thumbs down to just have a short rest first and recover some hit points and use some hit dice or whatever. You haven't actually used any of your focus points. Alright, most people saying thumbs up to keep going. There's a part of Noodle that's like, man, I'm tired. We should probably maybe sit down. And you think, nah, there's a city coming up. I can rest in the city. I can go to a tavern or a pub or a bathhouse or something. So you continue on through the night, given that it is you are a bear with low light vision and you're no longer in the area of like dust and clouds and what am I trying to say? Ash cloud. The weather is relatively clear. Relatively clear. It's not raining. There's a few clouds, but not rain clouds. So you continue on, walking towards Staanhon. It takes you about. I think you probably have slowed it down because of what you've just gone through, and you probably swap your shoes out for some more comfortable ones. These ones are still wearable. You can still make the most of them if you were to need to journey back through the Death Plains. Let me just roll to see how well they held up. Yeah, they held up fine. They're definitely not. They're far from brand new condition, but you change into your new ones just to make them a little bit more comfortable. Put the raggedy ones in your bag and walk for about hour and a half, maybe. Oh yeah, you can just bare feet now because you've got literally bare feet. So you just take your Death Plains shoes off entirely and put them in your bag, and continue on to Staanhon. As you're arriving then, about an hour and a half, give or take, later, you are noticing that the sun, while it is meeting the tops of the trees behind you, down in the valley to the west, Staanhon is built into the western side of a mountain range, and so it takes a lot longer into the day before the sun has crested enough in the sky to actually start bringing light into the city. So there's an ambient light, sort of a diffused light across the sky, but the sun is not actually hitting you. You're still in the shade of the mountain. After an hour and a half of walking or so, you're actually pretty chilly. Your body has returned to a normal sort of a temperature, and then beyond that, down into actually getting cold again because it's still early spring, and you're in the shade of a mountain in the first thing in the morning. So you're actually a little bit chilly as you walk. The fire resistance potion wears off, and you arrive at Staanhon proper. Let me pull up my notes on Staanhon because I didn't actually copy them across. because I forgot to do that. Let me go into, I think it's World Anvil where I've got Staanhon. You got some bare feet, yeah. Like Mr. Rogers changing his shoes. Won't you be my neighbour? Does our clover reset? It will, yes. Well remembered. I will do that for you in a second after I look up Stanhon. I just want to make sure that I'm not forgetting anything about how to describe it. I'm pretty sure I've used it for a long time, so I know most things, but in case. So as the dawn starts to crest over the horizon, Thelrios, the god of the sun, the god of the daytime, he resets your lucky clover. I don't know if I can right or left click to reset that, can I? So I can. I can't. It comes back on a long rest. That might be something that I need to adapt. Usually you long rest and your clover comes back because you long rest and wake in the morning. I'll just remember you have 31 hit points and 5 hit dice. So I'll long rest and then I'll go back down to 31 and 5 hit dice. Easy workaround. So your clover resets, you feel the magic, the luck of your lucky 4-leaf clover come back to you. You have your 4 luck points back. And just as you crest over this last hill, you see before you this large stone-walled city. From the direction you are coming, you first pass through Old Town, which is a destroyed suburb outside of the main walls of the town. It used to be within the walls, but it got attacked by orcs too many times and they just kind of abandoned it. You then see a very large wall around the rest of the city. And you've arrived at Staanhon, the capital city of the once powerful Königreich Strakeln, a dwarven kingdom that spanned Drenwil and Lorethel before it was subsidized, before it was subjected to the human kingdom's rule. It is now the third largest city on the island of Drenwil, and it's home to a few thousand dwarves and humans alike. And it's also home to the 3 largest mining operations on the island. It is walled and gated. The exterior stone wall that you're seeing is 20 foot high and 10 feet thick, and it's punctuated by lookout towers every 180 feet along the mountainside. On the western side of the island, so you're coming down from the mountain, you're seeing that there are towers every 180 feet. You can see from your vision of the city and it's spanning out ahead of you. You can see some of the other more distant walls. The towers do start to spread out a little bit more because they're not as heavily defensive from the west, because there's very little reason to be. You can also see from approaching it, seeing down over the wall and seeing into the city proper, you can see that there is inner walls as well that divide it into distinct districts. There is also a river that runs down that you have now crested around to the north side of the Lake Walkerak. Walkerak drains from the north, and there is a river that you're now running. You're sort of walking down the path beside this river. The river runs through the town, through the city proper. It is a section of the river actually disappears underground. I'm telling you this because it's not otherwise going to come up most likely, so it's not a big deal to just give you meta information. A section of the river is diverted underground and into a sewer system, and they actually have a working flushing sewer system in Staanhon as well. You can see that there are 5 districts, I think, that you can see, because there's another district underground that you can't see. So yeah, 5 districts that you can see, separated out by the rivers and the walls of the internal walls as well. The internal walls not quite as large, not quite as thick, or not quite as high as the external ones. I think that's all you're going to notice upon approaching the city. So you get there just as the just after sunrise, and you see a guard on duty at the front gates. Probably a couple of guards. The town is closed overnight, and you arrive there just as they're starting to open it up. There's a few people waiting outside with just like adventuring gear and people who have come over the pass before you, or slept in the mountains and come back down. But there's not many people from this direction because there's not a lot of merchants heading between Holdover and Staanhon at the moment. What do you want to do? You just wait your turn and talk to the guard, or are you going to just wait for them to open up and head on in? Are you heading for anywhere in particular once you get inside? Take a dip in the river instead of going to a bathhouse? You can if you want to, yeah. You can definitely freshen up. You go to the river before that last little leg towards the guards. You just freshen up as best you can, wash your fur a little bit. Kind of look like a bear waiting for a salmon in the river. Just dripping off of your fur. We can try and find our local guild outpost, head straight there. Blend into the crowd, generally be nice. Ask one of the guards where we can stay. Try and be careful not to be intimidating. Show a copy of our notes and progress to the guild hall and report back to the sent to the king. Try and wash the ash out of our fur. Let's just do your general cleansing check. How well you can clean yourself off with the fur and the ash and the singed stuff. Yeah, 16. 16 plus your, let's say, dexterity. That's fine. You managed to clean yourself off pretty well. It's pretty chilly and pretty cold to be dipping in a river like this in the first thing at dawn on a early spring, but you feel clean at least. Then you head over to the guards just as they've finished opening up the gates, and they don't seem to ask you for any paperwork. They're not asking you your purpose being here. It's a walled city, but not one that is requiring any honorifics or any paperwork to enter. So you can walk past the guard, and on your way in, you ask them "Oh, excuse me, hey, I'm looking for the guild hall for the brush and quill. Is there a brush and quill guild?" And he looks you up and down like there's definitely a little bit of you notice on his face that he's obviously not seen someone of your kind before, but he doesn't make a point of it. He just kind of. Just around here, and he gives some directions along the wall. You want to stay in the outskirts of the wall, head towards the central district, and then you'll find head all the way to the inner wall, head inwards towards the center, and blah blah blah. Yeah, oh thanks. Have a good day. Turn up the guild hall. Raggedy only shows how hard we've been working. Yeah. Oh, and the bathhouse. Where's that? It says same area in the central district, and he basically gives you a very quick rundown. You've been here before? No, first time in Stanhon. All right, well, high quarters down here, and he points down the mountain towards the west's high quarter. As the name suggests, it's the wealthiest district with the widest, most well-maintained roads. You got the central district, which is straight ahead towards the center of the city. Lots of wide open marble plazas and fountains and things. It's where all of the temples and the places of worship are, the guild halls and things there. And then you've got Upper Staanhon, and he points up the mountain towards the east. Upper Staanhon's got the winding roads. It's more of the residences, I suppose. And right now you're in the Western District. Western District's a lot of residences, a lot of markets, that sort of thing. So you want to go through Western District towards Central District. That's where you'll find your temples and guild halls and bathhouses. Thank you very much. You set off towards Central District. Find out that if there's an apothecary where we can potentially buy another fire resistance potion. You would get an apothecary if you ask somebody on the way. They will tell you that would be in Western District where you are currently. Oh, cherry. Sweet as mate. Do you have the name of the person in the guild? You don't have a name of the person in this guild now. You know Randy, obviously. You can name drop Randy, which is the guy who ran the Port's End guild. You didn't get the name of anybody who runs the guild in Staanhon yet. Let's head in. Want to make sure we can get a clean copy of our notes while it's still fresh in our mind. Guild first, then amenities. Guild first. 16 bath is great for a frugal bear. Yeah, you go 16 plus whatever on your free bath out in the river. And we did specify in your character creation that you tend to be frugal, so you're going to save yourself some money on that. You had your chance to save the potion. You don't get to redact the spending of the potion now. Then it wouldn't be redacting. They'd just be buying another one. You're just spending your money on another potion. Pat. Is Wraith's not the one taking notes today, right? Because there would be a lot of salt in the recap notes if she was. All right, heading through the town, you make your way to the inner walls. It's now like 7:30, 8 o'clock or so in the morning, so the inner walls have all been opened as well. There's no guards on the inner walls, even they don't guard the gates because there's no need to when it's middle of the day. You make your way into the central district, and sure enough, as it's mentioned, it has many wide open marble plazas, lots of fountains. It's connected by well-maintained roads. It is not in a radial architectural style like some of the other places you've been to. It's just kind of higgledy-piggledy. There's definitely a section of river, a smaller river that comes down from another part of the mountains further northeast, and that meets up with the river that you're currently on, that's from Lake Welkarak, and where the fork in that river meets, that's where Central District is built. So it's kind of on two sides. It's just got this large river, and on the other side, it's got a large internal wall. Beautiful buildings, lots of large marble, lots of stonework. Everything in Staanhon, you're noticing as you're walking through the streets, everything is made of stonework. You don't see any wattle, you don't see any daub, you don't see any wooden beams, wooden structures, wooden supports. Everything is quite low to the ground. There's no there's very few buildings that are two stories or more tall. It's quite spread out. The dwarven architecture is very clear, as is the dwarven populace. You're noticing that about 60% of the people you're passing are dwarves. Making your way from there to the local guild, you find the Artisanal Alliance Guild Hall, where it's a complex of several buildings, just like the one in Portsend. And once you walk into that guild hall area, you're looking around for the sign of your guild, the Brush and Quill. And once you find it, you head on in. So you walk into the guild to see that there is a female receptionist on duty. She's a gnomish woman. She's probably around just about 4 feet tall, give or take. Not that you can really tell a difference because she's seated anyway. It's one of those situations where she's probably about the same height when she's seated versus when she hops off the chair. She's sitting at a desk and she's doing a little paperwork. She's just filing things, seemingly like organising one of those Rolodex sort of things. So what do you do? What do you want to do? Do you want to talk straight to the head of the guild? Do you want to just find a place? You just ask for a room that's available and explain who you are, and just want to copy your notes across before you talk to anyone, or do you want to first set up a meeting and go talk to somebody and then copy your notes and stuff later? What's the plan? What's the plan of action for you? You have a lot of notes, a lot of paperwork that you need to put in order. You've got lots of sketches and measurements and things that you've taken. You've done a good job of being a cartographer. You've definitely taken copious notes, but they are stacks of papers that need to be organised now. We meet first and greet her. Some people say and ask for a space first. What you should do: compile your notes in a safe space first, then have a meeting. Secure the work first. Make a copy. Get business done first, and then paperwork. Get the notes together first. All right. Most people saying let's get our notes together first. So you walk in and say, "Oh hey, kia ora," and she looks up and,
"Oh, hello." Irish, dilly dee. Hello. What can I do for you?
She's got big glasses on her nose, quite a big bulbous nose.
What can I do for you?
You say, this is the Brush and Quill, eh? And she goes,
"You're in the right place. Are you looking to hire a writer, or a scrivener, or a sign writer?"
You say, I'm actually a member of the Brush and Quill as well.
"Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't recognise you. I haven't been a receptionist long, so I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. Do you have one of the offices?"
You say, "Oh no, you wouldn't. You wouldn't recognise me. I'm not a cartographer here at this guild. I'm from another. I'm from a long way away, but I came through from. Do you know Randy from Portsend? Let's see if she does. She does with a 17. She goes,
"Yes, Randy's the head of the guild in Portsend, right?"
He said, "That's right. I'm from there, I suppose. She goes,
Oh, okay. And you've come all this way?
yeah, long story. I went to Wendraven. The king told me to map the death planes, and so I mapped those, and I came, and then I've made my way through the death planes, and I'm here.
You mapped all the death planes?
Not all the death. No, the path between is it Holdover? Yeah, Holdover. The path between Holdover and the death planes that goes and here. It's like a rambling thing. You're not the most charismatic person. You are above average, but you're not the most charismatic person. So stumbling over your words when you're kind of tired and exhausted makes sense. Eventually, you explain what the situation is. She's very interested and rapt to attention about it all. And
Wow, that's amazing. You look like you could really do it with the rest. Good on you for surviving it. That's a long journey to come through, and you've done a really good job. Do you need a bed or something?
she said, "Oh, do you have beds here?" She goes,
I mean, we do have they're not in this guild hall, but there are beds in the Artisanal Alliance. I'm sure I could set you something up, probably.
and she's kind of looking like, maybe I can do that. Is that something I can do as a receptionist? I don't know. I don't fully know. I don't. No, I can sort myself a bed at a hotel or something later. I just need a place like where I can put my notes in order. She goes,
Oh, yeah, of course. There's the communal area with the tables and the books and things if you want. Or do you need like a private area?
do you need a private room, or do you want to just go into like the communal Artisanal Alliance halls where you can lay your notes out on one of the tables? Good on you for not being dead. Yeah. Communal should be okay. Private room, communal hall, public's fine. You say, you think about having a private room. You're like, the communal hall's fine. She goes,
All right. Well, feel free to head in.
you go, yeah, no problem. So it's just through here. She goes, yeah, there's, and she hops off the stool, and sure enough, she gets a little bit shorter as she hops off. So actually, she's tall for a gnome. I said, 3'11", about here. Yeah, she's actually she gets a little taller as she stands. Walks around the desk and over to a door and pushes the door open. You hear some noise start from the hall on the other side of it, and she starts showing you around.
So just over there, you can see that there's the offices all on the right hand side here. There's a little kitchenette round here, and there's it goes down some steps. You can see there. So just down there, there's some beanbags and chairs, and there's a couple of tables and stuff. Just grab any of the tables; it's fine. If you do want to use any of the offices, I will need to take note of that because they like booked out at certain times and stuff, and I need to find you one that's free.
Yeah, no problem, thanks. And you walk off, and she closes the door to go back to her thing, and then you're barely at the top of the stairs past where she said the kitchenette was, when you hear the door open behind you, and she goes,
Oh, sorry. One more thing. I totally forgot. Could I see some sort of insignia of your guild membership?
She blanked on the fact that she just let a stranger in on the word that they are part of the guild, and didn't actually ask you for confirmation that you are part of the guild. Oh yeah, sorry.
No, sorry, that's on me.
No, it's on me. I should have offered you.
No, it's okay. I should have asked.
you get your insignia out. That's part of the guild. What is it's a pin, a brooch, I think, for the Artisanal Alliance from memory. I could look it up, but I'm not gonna. I'm pretty sure it's a brooch that's the symbol of the Artisanal Alliance. You find that in your bag somewhere, and you get it out. Should I be wearing this? She goes,
you don't have to wear it as long as I've seen that you have it.
Okay, thanks. What was your name? She goes,
my name's Gracie Cinder Veronica. You can call me Gracie if you like.
And you go, okay, thank you. So she goes back to her reception job, and you head on down the little steps. You can see that there's a couple of people in the kitchenette, sort of making themselves a morning coffee, because it is the start of a work day. What day of the week is it? Remind myself. Notes, Stitch Tales. What day of the week is? Are we on? We're on Balm Day. Balm Day is sort of a Wednesday, I suppose. So midweek. You head down the steps into the communal area. Sure enough, just as she described, there's like areas with beanbags. There's areas of tables. There's nobody down in the communal area yet because they're either in their offices or they're up in the kitchenette making themselves coffees and morning breakfast and stuff. So you find a table that's not in use, bring up a chair to it, spread your notes out onto it, and start getting to work organising them. Because there's no, oh, actually, give me a sec. If you are to, yeah, I was going to say you can take 20 on this because there's no downside to failing, but there kind of is a downside to fail. If you do a real bad job with a cartography check now, you could actually make your notes worse because you could forget which order they go in and which part was related to which, and you could struggle to put them together and stuff. So I will make you make a cartography roll. Basically, you're fine as long as it's not a nat 1. 18, yeah. 18 plus your cartography check. You're fine at remembering your notes, the order that they went in. You did a good enough job with your notes on the way through that you kept them in some semblance of order in the first place. And so for the next couple of hours, you sit here at this table. You've got your bottle of ink out. A couple of people, let's say, come and go and like note you and ask who you are and what you're doing, not in like a interrogating way, just like in sitting and making conversation around a water cooler kind of way. You start numbering all of the notes and putting them all in a definite order that you're not going to forget later, and then start mapping them out, like getting a larger sheet of parchment out and like scaling the notes down into the scale that you can see. You're doing a good job of putting them together and organising them. And this is when you realise that, yeah, you got like above a 20 on your average here. You're like, I did a good job. I've taken some really stringent notes here. You're really proud of yourself and the work that you've done. Once or twice, yeah, head up to get yourself a glass of clean fresh water. Yeah, you can do that easily. You go up to the little kitchenette where there is a water stone. Let's see, Staanhon. Because of the fresh water that runs through, they do have. They wouldn't have running water in this kitchenette, but they do have like a pump outside that's easy enough. So yeah, at some point you can fill up all of your water skins as well if you should so choose, just in case you ever needed them. You probably fill up like 4 of them, leave a couple of them empty because you don't want to be carrying around all that extra weight with your -1 strength. If I spread them out, we number them. Yeah, you sit in a beanbag and fall asleep. You are getting pretty tired, I'd say. Can we get inspiration for doing such a fantastic job? I mean, you've already got a hero point that you haven't used this session, so. We have totes outdone Dora and her lame ass map. Dora, was that the big jam jar bottom halfling that hated you in Pot's End? The one that's very angry about the fact that she's lost her eyesight and can't really be a good map maker anymore. Is she your rival now? Or are you thinking of somebody else who's Dora? We do not tolerate any liquids on our desk, though. Yeah. You're a very professional cartographer. You don't put any liquids near your maps. Oh, you're talking about Dora the Explorer. Dora the Explorer, right? You gotcha. And her lame-ass map. Does she map things? I don't know. Dora was after my time. I didn't really know much about her. Swipe and no swiping. We can tell you've never had a child. I don't have a kid. Dora the Explorer was way after my time. She has a map with her. Okay, gotcha. I just don't know why Wraith has got a beef with Dora the Explorer, I guess. So after a couple hours, it's probably like 10, 11 in the morning, let's say. You've done a good job of compiling your notes, getting them all in order. If you want to now make copies of them specifically for the king, you can do that, but it's going to take it's going to take another few hours to like copy them all out. That time that's now passed is just like you have you've organized your notes into like a readable fashion. If somebody was to pick up this dossier of notes, they would know exactly what was noted and in what order and where, and all of the things that you've noted, like the location of the ambushes and the dangers and the blah blah blah. So do you want to now spend more time copying them into to have a copy of this dossier of notes, or do you want to now set up a time to meet with the head of the guild and like hand these notes over and talk to them and turn it into an actual map? We can't long rest yet? No, it's still early morning. You are tired, you're like exhausted, but you're not sleepy. Like your circadian rhythm would not allow you to really get a decent rest. You could have a nap and have a short rest, but you are still you're still in the day. Like mechanically speaking, you can't benefit from the long rest until the end of the day. Let's make a copy. Make a note of how cute the crab baby was and name him Kevin. Make a copy. Make a copy. Make a copy. Okay, you head over to the receptionist again at one point and say, "Hey, sorry to bother. It was Gracie, right?"
Yeah, Gracie.
Could I get some more paper?
Sorry. Yeah, I should have. I'm so sorry. I should have explained where the supplies cupboard was.
It's okay. It's fine.
I'm new to this and I forget things like that. But yeah, you have a supplies cupboard just in there as well. You can help yourself to any of the supplies. It is an honor-based system, so there's a pay box by the door. If you take a lot of it, we just ask for some donations to help recover the costs of the paper and things. You should have do you have an Inkfinity? You say, I do have Inkfinity, yeah, I've got ink, fine, but like paper. She goes, yeah, there's paper in there. If you can take a few sheets, no problem, but if you want to take like a big stack, then we just ask that you give us some money to replenish the supplies and stuff.
Oh, no worries, thank you. She directs you over to where the supply cupboard is, which is kind of like down the far end of the hall. Sure enough, in there's a whole bunch of things. There's like measuring sticks and yardsticks and stuff. There's surveying equipment. There's stacks of paper and parchment made out of like papyrus stuff, and also like more wooden fibers and things. So whatever you want to take, you can take enough paper to then make copies of it. You've got your Inkfinity well, which is coming in this supply cupboard. You see that there is another Inkfinity well here that is like what the Inkfinity draws from. The main supply of ink. Do you choose to give them any money as like a donation to taking the paper? You have 36 gold, 9 silver, and a copper, and you've got some money stashed, but I can't fully remember where that is. I just remember that there was. Yep. All right. How much would you leave behind? Given just for the economy of the area, you can consider like a single gold piece to be about $100 or so. So a silver piece is $10 and a copper is like $1. Wraith says, "Now don't leave money. We're frugal and we're doing an actual job for them. We're not taking it for fun." You are doing a job for them, but you do still have to pay for your own supplies for the jobs, because the job that you get paid to do a map. You get paid enough to take whatever supplies you need from that, and then you get recompense from like selling the map later. So you are expected as a cartographer to buy your own supplies, with the exception of the Inkfinity well. Couple of silver, 3 silver, 2 silver, couple of silver, 1 silver, 1 gold, 2 silver. Most people saying around 2 silver. So you're chucking a couple of silver. That's more than enough to be to generously cover the equipment that you take. Just into like a little honesty box. You take a stack of paper that's going to be enough, and you sit down, and for the rest of the work day essentially, you probably stop to go and get some lunch somewhere or to eat your rations, but you take like a stack of papers and you just meticulously copy your notes across. It's a long work, and you end up with like having almost carpal tunnel situation of like, whew, it's taking a lot to do. But by the end of the day, you have copied across your full stack of notes. You're falling asleep at this table for a bit. You definitely see some other cartographers coming and going. You probably, not that you know him because you haven't met him yet, but you probably do see the head of the guild once or twice sort of coming past. The dwarf, you see, what's her name? Birith Francis Fiohan comes by a couple of times. Just kind of notes you there, but continues on doing about her business. Feel like as a guild member we should know how much it goes for internally. Yeah, it's about that price. You'd be fine with that. Do some monk stretches. We're good. Yeah. Stretch your back out. Stretch out your arms. There's a few moments when the flashes of the last night come to you, and you're like, Jesus, did I really do that like that? You know, when you've done an all-nighter and all your memories kind of starting to blend together because your brain hasn't had that moment to like go to sleep and process the short-term memory into long-term memory, and so you kind of like things are blending into like that actually happened, didn't it? Holy shit! There's a lot of that where you're like, I'm just sitting in a civilized guild hall writing out notes now, but a few hours ago I was running for my life from rock crab elemental monsters. What the hell? You kind of like space out for a few moments and then realise, back to it. Sleep? What is sleep? Towards the end of the day, probably maybe like 3 p.m. or so, I'll say that you are finished with your stack of goods. In fact, let me roll to see how well you've done, because that'll determine how long it's going to take you to copy it across. How well did you do? 18 again. Very well. So yeah, you're able to do it with still a couple hours left of the day. You've you copy across the notes. You've got them in a very stringent order for yourself and a copy for the king. What do you want to do? Do you pop into the office? Do you ask the receptionist if there is if there's someone in charge that you can talk to? Do you just hand it to her and say, hey, can you file this somewhere, or can send it to the king, or what? Let's ask Gracie for an appointment tomorrow and then go get some rest. Fair enough. Does thumbs up if you want an appointment with the head tomorrow so that you can rest first, or thumbs down if you want to go and see if you can get an appointment right now. Would like an appointment tomorrow so that you can rest first in Staanhon. Alright, most people saying yeah, let's go for tomorrow. Let's take our time to rest. So you go back to the reception desk. You see Gracie talking to a dwarvish woman out there with big pack on her back, and she goes, "One second. Yeah. So, is there anything I can help you with?" And she goes, "No, it's fine. I think I've got what it takes. I just need to remember that the guy's a bit of a creep, so I'll just keep away from him, and I should be fine. It's really just a signing job, so." Should be in and out, really. All right, well, I'll see you tomorrow. And she leaves, and then she goes, right, yes, Irish lady. She goes, yes, how'd you get on? Are you still going? Is it, do you need a room or anything? He said, no, the communal space has been good. I'm not in anyone's way, am I? She goes, no, the communal space is to be used. Nobody's been bothering you? No, pretty quiet, eh? I was just, I'm pretty much finished with what I was doing. I was just wondering if there's someone in charge here that I could talk to tomorrow. Maybe like have a meeting to discuss what I've found about the death planes. And she says, oh yeah, you want to speak with Birith Francis Fiohan. She's the lady in charge. She's an office down the far end. She's probably a bit busy today, but I can get you an appointment for tomorrow. I think I have a notes. Oh, she gave me her notes for tomorrow, didn't she? What did she? What was I doing? Put it in the upper drawer. Put it in the upper drawer behind the... Yeah, it was. And she opens this drawer. Behind this file of facts, there it is. She gave me the notes for her tomorrow. This is it. She'll be in just after dawn, she said. She has to be leaving before midday. So anytime between dawn and midday, she doesn't have a meeting with anybody else. So I think you should be okay. I'll tell her that you are... Did I get your name? I'm so sorry. I didn't even get your name. See, oh no, it's all right. I should have given you it. Sorry. My name's Nifa Maruki. You can call me Noodle if that's too hard. Noodle. I love that. Noodle's a lovely name. I once knew a man called Noodle. He was not a very nice guy, but Noodle is one of his names. Not that you're not a nice guy, like this guy wasn't, but like you're fine, you're good. Anyway, Noodle to meet with Birith. Okay, shall I say just after dawn? Maybe like give it an hour or so just to allow to. Yeah, okay. So we'll put you in for like 9 a.m. or something, eh? And I'll let her know if it changes. Will you just be here then? Yeah, I'll just pop back here. Okay, thank you. I hope you had a good day. Gracie, has someone been bothering people? Well, has someone been bothering you? What do you mean? I couldn't help but overhear the person before. You said that she said that there was a bit of a creep or something, and you asked me if somebody had been bothering me. Oh no! I was meaning just like if anybody was trying to move you on from the tables or anything, like try and show that you're not welcome here or anything. I didn't want that. Not that they would, but I just wanted to make sure. Okay, and then the woman before was talking about somebody else?
Oh, yeah. There's a merchant that lives that lives and works up in the West District. He's just a bit of a he has a lot of signs that are needed for his shop, and he constantly asks us to send more signs, send limners to write him more signs, and he's always asking for the same limner to go, and she says that she doesn't think he needs as many signs as he's asking for, and just is, I don't know, maybe I'm it's not my place to speculate.
Right. Okay. Well, anyway, I guess I'll head out, find somewhere to stay. Does he need a sign tomorrow?
I suppose it depends on how well what would her name be? Ruta. She goes, I suppose it depends on how well Ruta goes on tonight, whether she can get the signs finished tonight or not. Ruta can look after herself, don't worry.
Don't stick your nose in, mind your own business. No need to derail from our own project. Super vigilant and creepy guys.
Yeah.
He's why focused on signs? You're not focused on signs. You're just part of a guild that includes sign writers. We have like 12 more quests. We don't need to be sticking our nose in. All the signs are just word creep with an arrow. I'll tell you that this is a verisimilitude addition to the world, and absolutely you could investigate as well. But this is not me giving you a plot hook that you have to follow if you don't want to. This is just me fleshing out the world. There is a creepy merchant that has got a thing for this lady dwarf Ruta, and he keeps trying to come up with a reason for her to come back to his shop to write more signs for him, just so that he can have her around. And he's deliberately asked her to come in. He's deliberately waited until late in the afternoon, late in the evening in the shop to ask her to come by, in the hopes that she will maybe want to stay overnight. And if I give her enough jobs, then she'll have to stay here overnight to do the yeah. He's just a creepy guy that doesn't know how to not be a creep. Noodles had an exceptionally long day. Let's focus on food and sleep. So where are you going to go? Are you going to ask if we see him? We drop kick him. Yeah. Anyway, where are you going to go? What's your intent? Fucking neighbours with the lawns and shit again. Where's your intent? Are you going for somewhere upper class where you can get like spa level looking after you, get a real nice rest after your horrible day, or are you going for like mid range? Are you going for somewhere super cheap? Do you have any good recommendations for a good place to sleep and eat around here?
She goes, oh yeah, there's lots of places. What sort of a price range are you looking for?
Frugal tavern, modest, frugal. Pub food. Oh, just something cheap, eh? Just nice place to put my head down. That's a nice bed to rest on, and like pub food sort of thing.
She goes, you want to probably head to the lower quarters. You're. And she kind of looks up and down and goes, you'll be fine in lower quarters. It's the cheapest place, and it's there's a lot of lively places in lower quarters. There's lots of places where you can get nice cheap food and places to sleep. Just be careful that you don't take any expensive things with you there to certain areas. Not all of it, just like some places can be a bit... but it's a little... it's easy to find places there where your belongings might not be safe.
You're proficient in insight. You can tell that she's trying to not be impolite by saying that it's the low socioeconomic area of the town where there's lots of criminal organisations and stuff. Reasonably safe was an adorable phrasing last time. Literally middle of winter, what could the neighbours possibly be doing with all that noise? Fuck knows, man. Just annoying me. We're frugal but not necessarily bleak. Yeah. Let's avoid being robbed. Say, maybe the next step up, eh? Maybe somewhere a tiny bit nicer, eh? She goes, if you want somewhere nicer, it'll be a little bit more expensive, but you can go to the Western District. Western District's probably the place where you're much less likely to get
unscrupulous people. At least that's the reputation it has. And it's not as expensive as High Quarter. Like,
there you go. Then I'll go to the Western District. Thank you very much, Gracie.
No, thank you, Noodle. It's been a pleasure meeting you.
So you head off to the Best Western Inn. You go towards the Western District. You search around. Let me just roll you a check to see how long it takes you to find a place that's perfectly suitable for you. 10 average, probably takes you about half an hour or so of wandering. You eventually find a place that suits you. Let's say, what sort of a place would it be? What would it be called? I feel like we need like a generated table that's just like the Hog's Head or something, the King's Arms, the something. Give me a name, somebody. What's the Willkommen Inn? I like that, Willkommen Inn, because I like that because Dwarvish is based in German in my world. So Willkommen, yeah, you go to the Willkommen Inn, and it's a bit of a play on words. You are given a room for, how much would it be at a place like this? Let me grab my notes. My table of prices of things at a relatively modest inn stay. And then some food included. Looking at about 7, actually in a dwarven place as well. Yeah, about 7 silver. So I'll mark off 7 silver from your inventory there. Oh, you actually had 7 silver, exactly. Mark off 7 silver, you get yourself a room for the night. It's not a private room, but it's not like a 12-person dorm with bunk beds. It's just a room that has like 4 beds in it, and one of the other ones is empty. So it's you and 2 other people, and with your insight, you sort of like gauge them, and they don't seem like they'd be unscrupulous or anything. They seem like they're travellers. So you get yourself a meal at the inn, a nice pub food. What sort of food do you reckon you would get from this place? Keeping in mind that it's a mostly dwarven with a little bit of human influence. So it'd be like hearty foods, maybe stews, vegetable stuffs. Can we give someone this random copper as a tip just to get rid of it? What if you need a copper for something? Or a coin to throw at somebody? A nice fish soup. Yeah, you get like a nice fish soup. It would be like a mountain fish, like a salmon or something, a river fish that would be living in the rivers of the mountains up here. So a nice salmon stew or something, and then make your way to your bed. And this is too much real world for my taste. I wish modest accommodations to be 5 copper. Not for the modest ones, no. Not for modest accommodations and food and drink for the night. Got a nice little slice of berry pie, like an apple pie or a blueberry pie or something for dessert as well. It's a nice hearty one with a big thick crust on it, as the dwarves would do. And then eventually you head back to your room. You tie your belongings up as best you can, nice and tight, and put them up underneath the head of your bed, and then go to sleep for the night. The chances in a place like this that someone's going to rob you are going to be very low, so give me a percentile check. Okay. And as you have your long rest overnight, exhausted from your big day's journey, that's where we'll end it for today, and we will pick up here next episode. Thank you very much for joining me, everybody. See you in the next one. Bye. Hey, did you know that the Twitch Tales campaign is also available as a podcast? Check out the links in the description if you prefer to just listen.